Hi, I'm Adam. I'm here supporting politicalcripple.com with the petition to save our disability living allowance, attendance allowance and carers allowance from being butchered by the government and handed over to the social services and local authorities so that they can then deliver services that we're quite capable of arranging for ourselves, but we'll find out that we will not be eligible for those services because we won't meet their criteria. So it's a very big fear for everybody who's in receipt of these benefits, and it also places the Motability scheme under threat, which a lot of people just don't seem to understand. So if disability living allowance goes, everybody's cars and accessibility vehicles goes. So that's quite a big fear for all of us. When this came about under the government green paper, we tried to set up a petition on the Number 10 website, but unfortunately the Number 10 website gets shut down while Parliament goes into recess. So we had to do this as a guerrilla underground movement. When the Number 10 website came back out, Scope started a petition on there, and they also got a petition up for protection of this as well. Who knows, we can get both of those joined together. This will be really good, a big voice, and the politicians will listen. Out of this anger that's been growing, we've now got a very strong indicator that people want a movement for disabled pride. Our own Disabled Pride Day. It's for every person who has a disability, hidden disability, sensory impairment, physical disability, medical condition, whatever. We want to set something up for everybody, not just one line of the disability scheme. So there is a voice for everyone.
The organisation is called politicalcripple.com, which is seen to be a little bit edgy and a little bit naughty. But actually we need something very strong to get the message through to people that we actually do need to break down barriers and get people to understand that disabled people have got political rights in this country, because we're being excluded constantly from access to politicians. We're being excluded constantly even from the green paper consultation on the future of care. If you go to the website to actually get a ticket to attend one of the public events, unless you've got a job title and you work for an organisation, you can't apply. Well, a lot of disabled people, unfortunately, we're actually told that we're not employable, no matter what our skills base is, no matter what we can do. And so we're being excluded in various ways from getting our voices heard as part of a consultation on the future of care, which affects 2.5 million disabled people in this country. And as part of that consultation, it's being discussed that attendance allowance for people over 65 and disability living allowance for people under 65 is to be taken away and handed to statutory authorities under what's going to be called the new National Care Organisation, or as we know it, social services. And social services have a bit of a bad reputation in actually helping people out and solving problems. And just a simple fact, I mean, if you receive disability living allowance as care component, the middle rate, £47 a week, you're expected to turn that into the equivalent of £500 of care per week at national minimum wage. So if somebody's care component ends up in the hands of social services, it's going to cost a lot more for the economy in actually providing the equivalent of what we've got now. And as a disabled person, I'm infuriated at people like David Cameron telling me and the country, because he's got access to national media, that we are economically inactive, making out that people are sponging off the state, taking money. If he was to tot up the amount of voluntary work done by disabled people in this country, on an hourly rate at national minimum wage, it's £10 billion a year. That's 10 billion. How dare he? How dare he stand up with national media giving him the opportunity to turn round and actually produce the equivalent, literally, of hate crime against disabled people in making out that we are not helping ourselves, we're not adding to the economy, when that's exactly what we're doing. When we were experts, if somebody's on full rate care component, £67 per week, They have to turn that into literally the equivalent of £1,000 worth of care a week. We're experts, we're magicians. We can take nothing and we can actually make it massive. They talk about bankers. Why don't they employ a few cripples for a while? We could sort out a hell of a lot of the problems on the economy just by the imagination that we use every single day in figuring out how to survive. They want to take away our benefits, they want to reduce them, they want to have them managed in different ways. Fantastic. In that case, then I want to make sure they're paying my gas bill. Because in the winter, when it gets cold and I need to stay extra warm, otherwise my health deteriorates, they better pay it. Otherwise, they're going to be paying £400 to £800 a day to have me in a hospital bed. If it costs £800 to keep me out of a hospital bed, they better pay it. Otherwise, I could be 10 days there costing £8,000. I mean, you've got politicians at the moment who have got sound bites all over the place, and they actually haven't done the basic sums. But then again, disabled people, we're forced to do those sums every single day, and we know what they add up to. And we also know exactly what they'll add up to if the money that we have, the pittance, which we don't just get given, it's not just you fill out a form and get it. We actually have to fight through courts called tribunals. People actually have had to fight those cases right the way to the Supreme Court. It was the House of Lords, now it's the Supreme Court. But cases to get somebody a Disability Living Allowance award have had to be fought to the highest courts in the land. It's not just sign a piece of paper and get it. It's actually hard work. I mean, you get the government talking about benefit fraud on Disability Living Allowance. Benefit fraud costs £50 million a year. The amount of official error which actually causes people to not be paid or underpaid is £250 million. The actual amount on the government's own figures for people who are not claiming Disability Living Allowance and who qualify is over £1.5 billion. And yet they're spending £60 million on an advertising campaign to cut out benefit fraud. Why are they actually not doing a £60 million advertising campaign to encourage people who should be receiving the benefits to apply for them and take them up? And why aren't they actually spending money on cutting the level of official error and maladministration that's blighting the lives of people and forcing them to then have to go to courts, tribunals, the whole lot, and money's being wasted through the Ministry of Justice? They want to talk about the figures adding up. Why don't they talk to disabled people? Because we know exactly how much money is being spent and how much is being wasted and how a tiny amount can make our lives bearable and actually give us some equality. I mean, at the moment, the equality issues around disabled people in this country are horrendous. The government has been openly and publicly discriminating against disabled people, wide open, for nearly 3 years. Don't believe me? Go to a particular website. It's called report-it.org.uk, a government-sponsored website to allow the reporting of hate crime. On it you'll find two eyes. It was set up by an organisation called True Vision. It was to have a true vision of hate crime in this country. One eye, you can use it if you're gay or if you're a woman, if it's a sexual or sexual-related hate crime incident. The other eye, it addresses ethnic and religious issues. On that website it says in big red letters, yeah, this website will soon be updated to allow the reporting of disability hate crime. It's said that since November 2006, nearly 3 years, and nobody's bothered to get round to it. Disabled people in this country have got sick to death of being patronised and disregarded. Political Cripple have instigated this. The Political Cripple Suck It and See Lollipop Awards. They're very simple. Disabled people, we don't like being patronised. We don't like being treated like children. Pat us on the head and send us away with a lollipop, we'll return the compliment. We actually challenged John Prescott via the internet. Oh, John, lovely man. He loves his BlackBerry. He pushes buttons all over the place. He's been on Twitter, Facebook, every piece of the internet he could find. He's worked to save the NHS, save world climate. We've challenged John Prescott. John, send an email to the right person and get Report It sorted out so that disabled people can report hate crime inequality. It's his BlackBerry versus our blackcurrant lollipop. Guess who's winning? It ain't John Prescott. He can't even be bothered to push a few buttons and sort out such a blatant piece of inequality. Yeah? We also understand that poor John is diabetic, and because we're a disability group, that believe in equality, we understand he couldn't suck on our lollipop. So we've got a special prize for him. It's called the Prezza Pants. It's the biggest Y-front in the planet with our logo on it. He's got 5 days to get that sorted out, or he gets the award.
Disability Pride, can it happen? Yes, it can. Can we do it? Yes, we can.